Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz, and this is Ron's Rundown. We're going to go over the MLB games scheduled for Thursday, April 10th, 2025. Now, if you like this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Put your baseball picks in the comment section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, the games I love the most, including my daily rundown best bet in Major League Baseball, you can find those at the Premium Picks tab at pickdawgz.com. There's also a link in the description. Alrighty, here we go. Here are the games for Thursday in Major League Baseball. First up, the Los Angeles Angels taking on the Tampa Bay Rays. We're going to see Jose Soriano and Zach Littell as your starters. Soriano struggled in that last game with the Guardians, but he did have 9 strikeouts in 5 1/3 innings. And overall, his ground ball to fly ball ratio is still just 5-6, despite giving up 2 home runs. So, it wasn't a great outing, but I do think going forward, Soriano is going to be a good option in this Angels rotation. Facing a Rays offense that's been very inconsistent, has struggled for the most part in recent games. And, Zach Littell's 0-2 this year with an ERA above 4. The Angels, I think, will be able to get to him for a couple of runs and compete in this ballgame for a win at a great price. I'm going to take the Angels on the money line. Next up, the Chicago White Sox taking on the Cleveland Guardians. Jonathan Cannon and Gavin Williams are your starters. Similar to the last game, when you look at the Guardians and the fact that they've been inconsistent offensively, they're almost no hit in the first game of this series, and you see this kind of price, just for me, I got to go with the White Sox here, plus the 1.5 runs. Gavin Williams hasn't been the sharpest to start the year. Jonathan Cannon doesn't have the best numbers against the current Guardians lineup, and he may not be my favorite option in this White Sox rotation, but against the Guardians, the top half of this lineup is strong. The bottom half is really struggling, and unless Jose Ramirez does all the work himself, which we've seen in certain games, but not always, I just can't see Cleveland scoring enough to cover this run line or even win the game outright. I'm going to take Chicago plus the 1.5 runs in this one. Next up, we have the Minnesota Twins taking on the Kansas City Royals. Bailey Ober and Michael Wacha are your starters. Ober was a lot better in his second start of the season against the Astros than he was in that season debut, where he gave up 8 runs against the Cardinals, and there were some mentions that he may have been feeling under the weather in that first game against St. Louis. So, I think Ober definitely a lot more promising to see the 4 innings, 1 run, 5 strikeouts against Houston. That was a 6-1 win. I think the Twins are going to back him up a little bit in the run support department. Michael Wacha, I've mentioned, alongside Seth Lugo. I do expect regression from these starters in the Royals rotation in 2025. I like the Twins to get on the board early, gives Ober some run support, and I think he pitches about 4 or 5 strong innings. I'm going to go with the Twins in this one on the money line. Next up, we have the Milwaukee Brewers and the Colorado Rockies. We got Ryan Feltner for Colorado, no official starter for the Brewers. This is a tough spot to be in if you're Milwaukee. We know all the injuries that have really piled up in the rotation and the bullpen before and at the beginning of the season so far. And, we saw Tyler Alexander have to get the start on Wednesday. Now we're not sure who's going to be the option, if it's an opener or a bullpen game on Thursday. And with Ryan Feltner on the mound, I think he gives the Rockies a good chance here. He pitched pretty well in that last game against the A's. He's got a 3.6 ERA to start the season. He's got decent strikeout stuff, a lot of Coors Field experience. I'm going to go with the Rockies in this one at home on the money line. Next up, we have the Toronto Blue Jays and the Boston Red Sox. We're going to see Chris Bassett and Walker Buehler on the mound. I mentioned I don't really love Walker Buehler in this Red Sox rotation right now with an ERA just below 9. He was good enough for the win in his last game against the Cardinals, but he was given a lot of run support. He gave up 5 runs, a couple of homers, 7 base hits in 5 innings against St. Louis. So I do think the Blue Jays can get to Buehler for a few runs, and I think that the Red Sox will also be able to compete on the other side. Even though Chris Bassett's got great numbers in his career at Fenway Park with about 28 innings of work and a sub-2 ERA, it's tough to go against that, but Bassett, not the best numbers against the current Red Sox hitters with a high walk rate and a pretty high expected slugging percentage. So give me the over here in Toronto, Boston. Next up, we see the Atlanta Braves taking on the Philadelphia Phillies. Jesus Luzardo and Spencer Schwellenbach on the mound. 2 great starting pitching options, 2 good bullpens. I like the under in this one. Schwellenbach in his last game, yes, it was the Marlins, one of the weaker lineups in the National League, but he had 10 strikeouts, and he was really efficient too. 8 innings of work, 10 strikeouts, no walks, no runs. He has yet to give up a run this season, unearned or earned. And, you look on the other side, Jesus Luzardo, he faced the Los Angeles Dodgers in his last outing, one of the best lineups, if not the best lineup in baseball. 7 innings, 8 strikeouts, no runs. Just really impressive work for both of these starters, racking up the Ks. I got to go with the under here in Phillies Braves. And that's it. Those are the games for Thursday in baseball. Hope you enjoyed this video. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at Pick Dawgz Premium. As always, this is Romanelli. Good luck.